One, two. One, two.
Hi, my name is Fred Ebami. My style, it's a mix of, it's pop art, which is a style from the 60s, 70s. Uh, Well-known artists from pop art generation are Basquiat, Liechtenstein, uh, Andy Warhol, and basically my style is a mix of all those guys plus the comics like Superman, Spider-Man, the comics because I used to read comics when I was a kid and I used to love those, and as well a mix with Oliviero Toscani, the Benetton photographer, and when I grew up I wanted to do something with all those influences I had, and I find a way to do that by mixing everything of those guys. So my style, it's a new, I can I say, a new way of doing pop art. I used to listen to 80s music. Uh, I was full on into the 90s with all those colorful dresses they had, the music, the vibe, the graffiti. Basically, 80s and 90s where when I really embraced the hip hop scene. The first exhibition I did for the gallery I'm signing to Paris now in Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which is one of the biggest area in France.
So hard, this is rare. We need to be here. So hard since we here. It's only right that we be fair.
For art, nobody, not everyone can get to. Well, for this gallery, and then the 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 exhibition I did for Nike Town in Champs-Élysées, because they actually what they did, they closed the whole shop for me to have my personal and solo exhibition in the shop, which is that was crazy. And one visual that I'm really happy about because it's actually the way I'm actually I like irony. I like to laugh about stuff, and then I like to when I laugh about stuff I like to put like a really important message. Is the Kanye West, yes, with Kanye, because that was a joke. It started as a joke. I was in my bedroom, and then there was I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, and at that time Kanye West was just like popping up everywhere, and people used to love him, other people used to hate him, and then you couldn't stay. You had to react to him. You had or to love him or to hate him, and I'm like, wow, this guy is something else. So I want to take all the energy he's got and bring him back to Africa. So how can I do that? And I start looking at somebody in Africa, well known, that you, that people can kind of relate to that person, to that icon, and then putting Kanye West and him together in the same and say, oh yeah. And then I found Mobutu. So I was like, okay, let's try to draw Kanye West wearing a Mobutu outfit and see if people will recognize Mobutu into him and Mobutu into Kanye. At the moment, I'm touring with a city guide called Little Africa that's blowing up in Paris and all over the world actually, because it's in America, it's in Africa, in Scandinavia. The thing is just going crazy, and I'm part of a project called La France Cachée, which is a documentary about all these Afro-descendant Caribbean doing big things. The creative process, it's for me, it's natural one. It sounds crazy because I can be here sitting there looking at this monkey, and then the shape of his face will be like, wow, I want to do something with it, but what can I do? And then it stay there in my head, and then I'll be walking and hear something, and then it's gonna create like a slogan in my head. I'm like, okay, the face of the monkey with the slogan and the colors, I might be able to do something like that to make something like attract the eyes. But then they will see the face of the monkey, then they will see the slogan, then they will make everything goes together, and then like that it will open a universe of how to make the brain work. I just don't want to do a visual just to make a visual. I want to make a visual for it to be a door to another universe that your brain want to get into. That's the way I create things. It's a way of life. Art is like, it's water, it's hair. For me, it's my drug. It's like something I need. It's something. It's one of the reasons why I'm here, why I breathe, why I laugh, why I want to meet people. I think if I didn't have art, I'll be a robot. I'll probably be a robot. I'll be like, I feel through art in every part of my life, like family life, everyday life, waking up in the morning, going to bed, eating. It's art. It's like something I can't remove from my blood. It's there. Back home, if people love you back home, man, the world is open for you. Because I feel like I'm in the middle. I'm from Europe, and Africa is like my roots. And I feel like going back to my roots first would be the logical way to go to America. And then one person actually told me that, and I would never forget it. It's a Blitz the ambassador. I asked him, because I had the chance to interview him, and I asked him, wow, how does it make you feel to get to America and go back to Africa? He's like, nah, I went to America to go back to Africa. I didn't go to Africa to go back to America. And then when he said that to me, I was like, wow, it's actually crazy.
Hey, Africa, listen, bring it in, come on. Africa, listen. Africa, there is no future unless we build it now. Hey, Africa, future. Hey, Africa, future. Yeah, Africa, yeah, there is no future unless we build it. Africa, listen. Africa is the future. Africa is the future.